or AWA TV Episode 10 Part 2 kicks off here tonight with Uncle Howdy looking to avenge his loss to Solo Sikoa, taking on the man who cost him his shot at the TV title, Jacob Fatu. Before we get there, I would like to introduce our special guest color commentator, a good friend of mine who will hopefully be helping me out throughout the continuation of AWA. Mr. Justin, say hi to the fans, please. And tonight, we continue our road to Golden Gauntlet, where the road to WrestleFest begins. This match kicks us off for Episode 2. Uncle Howdy one-on-one with Jacob Fatu. Uncle Howdy, of course, blaming Jacob Fatu for his loss to Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa becoming the #1 contender to Drew McIntyre's TV title. Oh, and I'm sure they're going to be out in numbers at Golden Gauntlet, especially with not only Solo Sikoa having his TV title match, but also Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa defending the World Tag Team titles against Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits. Funnily enough, the team that Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa knocked off for the tag team titles back at Option A, of course, were Eric Rowan and Dexter Lumis of the Wyatt Six. So I'm sure eventually they will declare their rematch for those tag team titles. Not yet declaring, though, which is a bit strange to me, but strange kind of goes with the territory when you're talking about the Wyatt Six. Well, that's the strange part too, is not only will, the Street Profits have to take up, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, but as you said, I'm sure Jacob Fatu will be there very, very closely watching that match. And Fatu, I mean, is a powerhouse in his own right. Really doesn't need any help. A man who is already declared for the men's Golden Gauntlet match. Every member of the Bloodline will have their hands full at Golden Gauntlet. just imagine if Solo Sikoa walks away as TV champion. Jacob Fatu walks away with the victory in the Golden Gauntlet match as he comes out with a Savate kick. And Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa walks out with the tag titles. There is an opportunity for the Bloodline to control all the gold after WrestleFest. Absolutely not. Uncle Howdy, of course. We all know Uncle Howdy as Bo Dallas. Went for the Savate kick again. Did Jacob Fatu, now another collar elbow tie-up. But as much as we say the Bloodline gets involved in matches, I'm sure the Wyatt Six will be the first people to get involved in a match to support their leader, Uncle Howdy. Oh, the referee has been knocked down. I wonder how long it's going to take if Solo Sikoa decides to get involved here. Referee back up, taking care of that kendo stick. Of course, thrown in the ring by the new tribal chief, Solo Sikoa. Absolutely. I completely agree with you there. And speaking of the Wyatt Six, some people say that they think Bray Wyatt should be the leader of the Wyatt Six. Well, Bray Wyatt has his hands full at Golden Gauntlet as he has his one-on-one match. Well, he says his friend has his hands full versus Abyss at Golden Gauntlet, a match that is sure to we might have to reinforce the ring as a power slam drops the Samoan Werewolf. A lot of people say that that Jacob Fatu is the reason that Uncle Howdy is not challenging. Cover here by Jacob Fatu and a quick kick out at before the count of one by Uncle Howdy. Again, a lot of people say that Jacob Fatu is the reason Uncle Howdy is not challenging Drew McIntyre for the TV title at Golden Gauntlet. Could we be seeing that moonsault? It connects. Cover by Fatu here. There's 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 by Uncle Howdy. Crowd here at AWA TV episode 10 truly letting us know how they feel about this matchup here. Into the steel steps. As somebody who has been in the ring before, Justin, is there any way to describe the feeling of those steel steps against the skin? And these two just taking it to one another. Uncle Howdy measuring the Samoan werewolf, and now the mandible claw connecting to the mandible claw locked in, and now the cover onto Jacob. There's two, and a kick out at two. Another Savate kick. A lot of people say that their favorite going into the men's Golden Gauntlet match would be Jacob Fatu, who just planted and spiked Uncle Howdy. Cover by the Samoan Werewolf. Two, and another kick out. I gotta say though, you know, for Solo being on the outside, he really has not gotten involved nearly as much as I thought he would here. And the same can be said for the Wyatt Six on the opposite side. And I was gonna say, as soon as we mention, went for the clothesline, did not connect. The diving forearm connecting, cover by Howdy. Here's one. The referee counts two, and another very close kick out. You would have to think, though, as big as a man as Fatu is, he would be. And now the mandible claw again hooked in. And now another cover. Is this going to be it? Is Uncle Howdy going to get that measure of revenge? He does. What a match. And this is where the referee took a shot. I gotta say, for as big as a man Fatu is, that moonsault is absolutely beautiful. Well, I'm not saying Fatu is as pretty as Stratton, but the moonsault now. I thought it was over right here. I mean, proves your point right there. And one has to think that even though it's Jacob Fatu taking the loss here, that does a lot of damage to the momentum for Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and Solo Sikoa, all going into title matches at Golden Gauntlet. I gotta say, the bloodline may be able to hold water to them, but there is going to be certainly some hell to pay when they come back for those tag team titles eventually, whoever the champions are, when the Wyatt Six is ready. Well, unfortunately, Booker T is not here, so one of us will have to step in. This match brought on due to this woman right here in her faction, Pure Fusion Collective. Sonya Deville looking to right the wrongs and get a measure of revenge on behalf of Shayna Baszler following the loss that Baszler suffered to La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, on the last episode of AWA TV. Deville leading her subjects, if you will, looking to lead by example, not only tonight, but also in the women's 30-woman Golden Gauntlet match at Golden Gauntlet. A match that all three members of Pure Fusion Collective have declared for, as well as this woman, the Chilean, Stephanie Vaquer. Vaquer. Almost like a princess of darkness, if you will. I mean, she proved that on the last episode where she knocked off Shayna Baszler with both members, Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark of Pure Fusion Collective at ringside, and now she's under the same pressure. Two members of PFC on the outside with her opponent, Sonya Deville, on the inside. One has to think how she can focus purely on Deville if, PFC doesn't get involved here. Sonya with the advantage, the ground and pound, the MMA style ground and pound from Sonya, and now Zoe Stark taking that protective cover off the turnbuckle there, and now the referee distracted. Stephanie Vaquer back in control. I spoke a little too soon, but the distraction of Pure Fusion Collective comes back to bite Sonya Deville. Big spinebuster now measuring her opponent is Deville. The MMA background of Sonya Deville has to come into play. No MMA background needed for something like this, though. It's okay, Justin. We understood we got the point, and it's really been a match purely in the favor of Sonya Deville here. Stephanie Vaquer really has not been able to get out of the blocks here yet and mount that much offense. That's a disadvantage of Armbar submission hold now applied. Is Vaquer going to tap out to Sonya Deville? Shayna Baszler on yet again, taking off that protective covering. Every time a little bit of offense gets mustered by Sonya Deville, or by Stephanie Vaquer rather, Sonya Deville has an answer for it. And this goes back to my point earlier of the advantage of having watched Stephanie Vaquer defeat Shayna Baszler, and you get a free tape session right there on your opponent. Backbreaker covered now by Vaquer. Kick out, though, before the count of 2 by Sonya Deville. Now, springboard cross body taking down Deville. Absolutely. Now targeting the back of Sonya Deville. Now an armbar of her own, showing she's no submission slacker. Innovative offense by Sonya Deville. Went for a spear, was not able to connect. Deville with Vaquer up, reversal. But who really would a slower pace benefit here, honestly? Cover here. Wait a minute. It's a 3. An eat defeat, sadly for our fans. No Devil's Kiss here. The only kiss being made tonight was the kiss of defeat for Sonya Deville. I didn't even notice myself. Yes, a busted open Stephanie Vaquer walking away victorious. 2 of 3 members of Pure Fusion Collective falling to La Primera. Imagine if Stephanie Vaquer can walk away with the victory in the 30 women Golden Gauntlet match and move on to... The winner of that match, though, moves on to WrestleFest to face whoever the women's world champion is. Right now it's Cora Jade, but remember, she defends against Liv Morgan at Golden Gauntlet, so we don't know what's going to happen there. Like this match here, we don't know what's going to happen here. Seth Rollins, who cost Braun Breaker his match against Kevin Owens last week, go now one-on-one with Braun Breaker, preparing for his Option A briefcase defense against Kevin Owens at Golden Gauntlet. And look at this, Kevin Owens returning the favor. A pre-match assault. A pre-match assault onto the holder of the Option A briefcase and his opponent for Golden Gauntlet, Seth Rollins, and now the bell sounds and we are officially underway. What kind of hindrance is that going to play for Seth Rollins? So far, though, never mind. And now Braun Breaker took a little bit too long there, turning Breaker inside out. Covered now by Rollins. Nobody should be able to lift a man of Rollins' stature that high into the air. And now, a 1 foot pin. Well, one would have to think, though, that Seth Rollins is going to be watching, should he retain his Option A briefcase at Golden Gauntlet. Cover here by Breaker. Hold that thought. If Rollins retains his Option A briefcase at Golden Gauntlet against Kevin Owens, he would be watching that main event, now covered by Rollins. And the straps come down. But if Seth Rollins deems it that hits time if he retains his briefcase, and now a spear, no, DDT reversal by Rollins. Rollins now with the stomp. And that is all she wrote for the dog. But what kind of momentum does this build for Rollins as he defends that Option A briefcase, a briefcase that entitles the holder of it to cash in anytime he wants for the AWA Championship? It's for the from 6 months of him winning it, and he won it back at Option A. He's just got that briefcase. He could cash it in anytime he wants on the current champion LA Knight, who defends against Gunther at Golden Gauntlet. It's definitely a match that everyone's going to want to see, just like this one I'm sure is going to be as well. following last week's unsuccessful attempt for the Judgment Day to build momentum towards the 30-men Golden Gauntlet match where Santos Escobar knocked off Finn Balor. A little bit of revenge is being seeked out by JD McDonough as he goes one-on-one with Legata del Fantasma's Berto here tonight. Legata del Fantasma's Berto. This is sure to be a high-flying affair. Don't expect many collar elbow tie-ups and headlocks here. You're going to see a lot of high-flying offense for the two high flyers, really, of the factions, both Legata del Fantasma and the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day looking to capture gold, as only one member has the opportunity, though. That woman, Liv Morgan, as she challenges Cora Jade at Option A, or at Golden Gauntlet, rather, for the Women's World Championship. And there you see Liv Morgan along with Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and, of course, Carlito. Well, he's declared for the 30-man Golden Gauntlet. Could you imagine Carlito main eventing WrestleFest for the AWA title? Absolutely. I could see... Well, wait a minute now. We're still a new promotion. It's not going to be a big payday now. Exactly. Maybe from like a pound, maybe a bushel. I don't know what the difference is there, but... Exactly. Hey, you know what? Chinese, and I'm good, man. Now, of course, making his girlfriend hold the ropes for him. Now, one has to think how the ego of Finn Balor has to be hurting following his loss to Santos Escobar on episode 9. Absolutely not. And now we begin. Berto with an early roundhouse, and now a springboard moonsault early cover now. Could you imagine? Absolutely. Liv Morgan became the #1 contender for the Women's World Championship by getting a pinfall victory over Women's World Champion Cora Jade. And then on episode 9, a week later, Cora Jade again losing, this time to Liv Morgan's friend, Raquel Rodriguez. And now a springboard moonsault of his own by JD McDonough. So, Women's World Champion Cora Jade is feeling the pressure as she moves towards her title defense. What a move that was, but it's going to take a lot more than that to keep Berto down. Now a camel clutch submission hold applied, but in the ropes is Berto. Now a cloverleaf submission hold. What's Dominic Mysterio doing on the apron? Taking off that protective covering. Cover here by JD. Looking to bring a victory home for the Judgment Day. Oh, absolutely. Second rope goes Berto. Missile dropkick off the top. Now, what I want to know is how you know Berto's shoe size. I can imagine. Brought home those commissions. And now Finn Balor taunting Berto, but Berto, he could have had this match won. And now another submission hold but quickly broken. And a cover by Berto, but distracted referee, Berto would have had this match won. Now Berto obviously frustrated, to the top rope, bounce off, over the head goes JD. Innovative offense now, cover by, and now a cheat cover though too, and Berto with the cheat pin. Berto returning the favor. Definitely a match deserving of some highlights. That being one of them right there, that missile dropkick by Berto. And of course, very obviously with his legs on the ropes, how the ref did not see that, I don't know. But so far, the Judgment Day 0-2 against Legado del Fantasma. Definitely absolutely. And now Gunther putting forward an open challenge to build momentum towards his AWA Championship rematch after losing that title at Option A to LA Knight. Gunther has his open challenge answered by the upstart, Brooks Jensen. And the AWA champion taking out his opponent for Golden Gauntlet. Possibly doing Brooks Jensen a favor. Pissed off. Gunther is pissed off. That's what he is. Absolutely. I mean, he was angry after losing his AWA title in the main event of Option A. But I will give you this. Not only did he lose his title, but I believe the reason he lost that championship at Option A was because he did not have Kaiser in his corner. Cover now, forearm to the face. Barely getting the shoulder up is Jensen. Oh my. And the bottom of his boot. But now, the reason Kaiser wasn't at ringside, I don't know if anyone remembers, but LA Knight beat Kaiser to bar Kaiser from ringside before their match at Option A, resulting, in my opinion, again, in Gunther losing the AWA Championship to LA Knight. Now, Kaiser does hold a pinfall victory over AWA champion LA Knight, allowing Kaiser with a big splash by Gunther. Cover on Jensen. 1, 2, and Jensen. Probably stepped into too big of a pile here. Especially... I'll give him credit, but LA Knight's pre-match assault did nothing to help him. As Gunther, you have to think that hurts the momentum of LA Knight even more, especially knowing Kaiser's going to be at ringside. He lost to Kaiser on episode 9. It's gonna be a long uphill climb at Golden Gauntlet if Knight looks to retain his title at Golden Gauntlet. And speaking of matches with Golden Gauntlet Championship implications, AJ Styles and Carmelo Hayes, the winner of this match, faces Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero for the AWA United States Championship at Golden Gauntlet. He took Eddie Guerrero to his limit on episode 9, almost walking away with a pinfall victory over the United States champion. Came very, very close. AJ Styles was a part of that. If you guys remember, back at Title Tournament, where Eddie Guerrero became the inaugural United States champion, AJ Styles was a part of that triple threat match along with Braun Breaker. Now, AJ had another opportunity, which he beat Braun Breaker for at Option A, which again he came up short in. AJ has not been able to get the job done when it counts the most, with the title on the line. Carmelo Hayes, again, who took the United States champion Eddie Guerrero to the limit last week on AWA TV, now gets an opportunity to perhaps challenge for that U.S. title. Carmelo told me earlier that if he had the chance to hit one good move, one more good move, he would have probably walked away with a pinfall victory over the U.S. champion. Now, starting things off with a big super kick, springboard moonsault cover now, quickly kicking out his Styles, though. Now, of course, but one has to think that, really Carmelo Hayes had the better outing versus Eddie Guerrero. Eddie really took it to AJ in their last meeting with the U.S. title on the line. I mean, granted, it would be a huge upset if Carmelo did knock off AJ Styles. But knowing that Eddie Guerrero is what stands after this may already be in AJ's head, which lends, momentum towards Carmelo. Of course, not showing it too much right now. Now a cover. AJ will be getting his third, if he wins here, gets his third opportunity at the U.S. title. Now, keep in mind, just because one of these men lose here does not mean that they have the night. Oh my God, what a pile driver. No, he's instead going to go for the calf crusher, and it not the ring awareness, as Justin was talking about earlier. Connects. Could AJ punch his ticket to Golden Gauntlet? He does. A nice little offensive flurry at the beginning of the match for Carmelo, but it was all AJ, and AJ earns himself another opportunity at the U.S. title. But just because he loses here doesn't mean he can, that he may have the night off. He may get an opportunity to compete in the men's Golden Gauntlet match. And if he wins that, you could arguably say he would challenge for a bigger prize in a bigger stage. He has that opportunity to prove it at Golden Gauntlet in 2 weeks now, where he will challenge Eddie Guerrero for the U.S. title. And now we move on to our main event. The Viper, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton, looks to finally get the A-Town Down Under off his back following his Falls Count Anywhere loss at Option A to Austin Theory. He goes one-on-one with the Intercontinental Champion Grayson Waller, who is preparing to defend his title at Golden Gauntlet against the Nigerian ruler, Obafemi, for the third time, which Waller has said, if Femi can't get the job done this time, it is his last shot at the title. Well, I'll give you this. The whole reason why Grayson Waller is defending against Obafemi is because of his tag team partner, Austin Theory, who, in tag team competition, took the pin from Obafemi, losing the match for both Grayson Waller and the Intercontinental Champion, or the Intercontinental Champion Grayson Waller and himself, to Orton and Femi. Now Theory got a measure of revenge last week on AWA TV, knocking off Obafemi. Now, I will say one thing. We are stretched for time and pressed for time. So what we're going to have to do here is the main event will be Part 3 of AWA TV Episode 10. Right before the bell rings, we'll cut it and come back to you with Part 3. Following the long entrance of the Intercontinental Champion and his cocky cohort, Austin Theory. You may get your wish, but that will have to wait for AWA TV Episode 10 Part 3. The main event, Orton and Waller rather. Thank you, friends, for joining us. For both myself and Justin, we will see you on the next one. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.